to the MIA campaign was based on the 9th issue of the Meansmer movement. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan called everyone to Washington, D.C. in 2005, and he laid out 9 different issues. And the issue that caught me the most was the 9th issue, which deals with the exploitation of our artists by outside forces and us demanding an end to that. So what do you feel about the exploitation of our talent by outside forces?
I think it is true. Like it's happening, you know, right before our eyes. It's about profits and losses in this industry, you know, to the executives. And if they see an opportunity, just like I say in the song, a young, dumb, desperate, money-hungry rapper, first the label sees him, then they go in for the capture, precisely what they're after, another pump. Talking about the people you kill, pop, 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 pop. Hold on. You know, that's what someone looks at as, okay, this artist is not a threat. All he wants to do is make a little money. So we'll put it there, check in his hands, and tell him, keep pushing that ignorance out there. You know, go ahead, boy, we're gonna put you on TV, we're gonna make you a star. And that's exploitation, you know. And unfortunately, our love for money, you know, by any means necessary, has people quick to say, you know what, I'll take that check. Oh, you want me to do this? You want me to do even more of this? I'm gonna go lock myself in the studio until I come out with a whole album full of this foolishness, you know?
Yeah.
So that's what it is, and I think the way to take it back is first you have to make people aware, you know, of what's happening to them.
Yes.
Because a lot of times people don't know that they're being exploited or bamboozled. They don't think that deep into it. All they see is what's on the surface, which is the money, the fame, the attention that comes with it. That's all they see, and they get blinded by it. But, you know, I've been to the point where I just feel like I've seen enough in my young life to give me a different perspective. Like, I almost had my life taken from me before, and at that point when I became content with the fact that I knew I was about to die at that moment with a gun in my head, it just puts your brain in a whole other place. So once I made it out of that ordeal, which I didn't think I was gonna do, it just made me feel like my time down here is not guaranteed. So while I am here, let me just look past the surface of what seems to be appealing, you know, and let me do what I know is right, but let me dig a little deeper.
What made you decide, okay, I'm gonna write this particular song?
Well, I wrote that song when I was teaching middle school, and I think it was just a combination of being so frustrated and getting to the tipping point where I was like, I'm doing all that I can do to try to influence these youngsters, and it still doesn't seem like it's enough, you know. I felt like I was the man when I was a teacher because I'm a young black man. I look like them, I walk like them, I talk like them, because I taught at a school in the hood, you know. I'm educated though, and I'm a hip hop artist, so I figured I could relate to them on so many levels. And although I could, I didn't hold, I'm talking about not even a candle up to the amount of influence that these big hip hop artists had on them. So when I realized that, I was like, man, these brothers really, you know, it's sad to say it, but it's reality, so you can't get mad at reality. But these brothers have so much influence on these youngsters. And I was like, if only I could talk to them and kind of remind them of how much influence they have and tell them, come on, man, it's time to make a change. Like, you're not the same dude you were 10 years ago before this stuff popped off for you. And that was the motivation behind the song. I wasn't mad at J50 and Weezy, so that's why it's not a diss song, you know. It's not from a place of anger in my heart. I think it's from a place of love, from a place of concern.
How was the response to that video? Have you heard any feedback from the artists themselves?
Well, the response has been, it's two different sides to the response. One is from the people and one is from the artists. From the people, it's been overwhelmingly great. You know, I would say the video has a total of about probably 500,000 hits on YouTube. The video has been picked up by MTV. The video has made my fan base double, triple, quadruple. You know, it turned way more people on to me. And all I needed to do was introduce them to Dee-1, and then when they listen to the other music that follows J50 and Weezy, that'll reel them in and make them a die-hard fan. That was the plan from the beginning, and it seems to have worked. So I would say about 90% of the fans love it, and about 5 to 10% of them, they're like, man, you talking about my favorite artist? You know, you a hater. I don't like your stuff. You know, and you got some people that are like that, and I was prepared for that because what I do is not for everyone to like. You know, I'm telling people what they need to hear, not necessarily what they want to hear.
Yes, and I definitely agree with that 100%. So,
and from the artists, to answer your question, I haven't heard anything from the artists.
Okay.
But I know that they've seen the video, and I know that they've heard the song. I'm 100% sure that Lil Wayne has seen it. I'm 100% sure 50 Cent has seen it. I don't know about Jay-Z, but I'm gonna say I'm 80%. Well, for me, I think it's everything. I think that I was put here and I was given the microphone and given the skills to rhyme so that I could be held accountable and so that my whole lifestyle could be used as a testimony to the fact that I'm keeping it real. You know, I stand for this in my lyrics and I try to back it up as best as I can in my lifestyle. I think that for me, it was very important. I don't think that every artist views it that way though. And I think that some, you know, I think that if you look back in history, all entertainment hasn't always been good entertainment, you know? Right. So there's several examples throughout history where people were put on a platform because they were great entertainers, but it wasn't necessarily brain food or something else healthy for the people who they were entertaining. And we seem to be obsessed with just entertainment by any means necessary in this culture. So it doesn't matter what you're saying, but it's just, is it gonna hold my attention, you know? And that's sad, but once again, you can't get mad at reality. You have to deal with it. So I think that I think it's all about having balance in life, and I think that just because we have artists like that, that's why we have artists who do have a message and who do want to be held accountable. And I'm not the only one. There's so many artists, you know. Yeah. I met Mama Soul this weekend, you know. That was beautiful, you know. She's definitely another artist who's inspiring people as well as entertaining. Even yourself, you know. You try to keep it on the low about your talents, but definitely. So I think we just need to balance off the game. So that's why we have to work so hard, though, because we're not pushed to the forefront of the industry. But you know what? We have two legs, you know, we have fingers to type on a computer, and we got a mind, you know, so we can get ourselves out there. If they don't want to push us out there, we'll shoot our own videos, you know, we'll put our own MIA campaigns together, and we'll get ourselves out there.
What do you think about, just like you brought up with us being, you know, money focused as artists, but you're very spiritual.
Yes.
You're God-centered. Mm-hmm. And I think that makes a whole lot of difference. So how do you feel, is it really important that we should get across to artists that these gifts are not, you know, ours, they're God-given versus, you know?
Right. That's a wonderful question. A lot of people don't want to touch on that, you know, because when you start to talk about entertainment and you start to talk about God in the same light, most people know that the way that they're using their gifts would not be pleasing to God. You know, they know that. So it's so ironic that when they win an award sometimes, the first person they thank is God. You know, I want to thank God for giving me this award, you know what I'm saying? I talked about killing 67 people in this song. Thank you, God, for giving me the talent to do that. Like, it's crazy, and that goes back to accountability. You know, most people, I'm sure they have their publicists tell the interviewer, look, don't ask that type of question to my artist, you know, because that'll put them in a compromising position in an interview, you know. And we all come from God, so we obviously all have God, you know, in our hearts. And I think that we aren't born bad people or evil people, and that's the thing, is that people have just been like led away from the God in them, you know. They've been led away from it, and they've been taught to suppress that and to show this other side and push this to the forefront. But that godliness, just keep that in your heart, and you know, just let it stay there. Push it off in its corner.
Goosebumps on my arm as I hop out the bed. Today I'm about to do it, but I don't know how to say it. I probably could delay it. Part of me is kinda scared. Oh well, I'm